Hook up, hook up. Yeah, buddy. Listen to that. Woo-hoo. Hey guys, how you doing? Another episode of Wally Outdoors here for you. In this episode, we're going to be tying up a beginner bluegill fly. Something that everybody, we all started off fishing for bluegills, generally as a kid. And then as we progress into fly fishing, I find that a lot of fishermen start off targeting them as well. It's something I still do to this day and I enjoy thoroughly. On a small, lightweight fly rod, it's just amazing. It's a lot of fun. So this is going to be more, not for necessarily the advanced fishermen today. This is going to be more for the beginner fly tyers or fly fishermen as well. But don't be confused that this fly can't catch bigger fish, and it does work on trout and other species as well. To include my biggest trout last year, to be honest. I call it the Pinky. It's my own style fly, my own tie. It is sort of designed around other types of flies, but this is one that I've actually come up with on my own. So in the vise you see here, I have a Diachi, size 10, and standard dry fly. I don't like to use standard nymph hooks here with this tie. I prefer personally to use a dry fly hook because the thinner gauge hook seems to hook up better, especially on the panfish and their smaller models. It seems to work the best. So using that hook there, I have some small or thin pink chenille, and that is basically the basics of my tie. For the tailing, I am going to use a little bit of crystal flash here at the end. So what I basically do, I didn't go ahead and cut this ahead of time, but I'm going to take about 4 strands of that crystal flash, and I'm going to cut it. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but I'm going to take about the length of the crystal flash here. I'm going to cut that about in half, and then I'm going to half it again when I go to tie it on my hook. And I'll show you here as I adjust the length as I need it here. But for that, I'm going to just have that stand by and ready. I just want to show you. Also, I'm using, this is uni thread and fire orange. I do use pink most of the time on this tie, but I'm out of it, so I'm using orange right now for the thread. Okay guys, I'm going to get going here, get on the fly. So basically I'm going to start my thread up here by the eye, get that thread started. Don't have to go all that far down with it here. Alright, now once we're started, I'm going to bring it down just about to the bend of the hook. Okay, I'm getting there. Now right about here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to reach over and grab that tailing section I was talking to you about. I can pick that up here. Take those pieces, put them on here, right about where I finished off with the thread. Now it's always a good idea to spin your thread counterclockwise, because what happens here, if you didn't notice, when I went to make this wrap the first time here, I'm going to show you, that loop with the thread is now going backwards. When you don't do that, if you don't spin your thread, the thread will actually come the other direction. It's harder to tie in. So here you go. Get that started there. I'll put it on just about this side of the hook is fine. It doesn't matter if it gets all squiggly there on you. So I'm just going to pick it up, basically put it all together, tie it on top here anyway. So here we go. Come down, get that all tied in nice and tight. And then I'm going to stop right about here with my thread. I figure I'm going to leave my tail roughly about half the length of the hook shank, which is about right here. Okay guys, sorry I'm bumping the camera here on you. Now I'm going to take my chenille here. It's always a good idea, you take your chenille to pinch off the front piece here. Sometimes it's easier to do with scissors. I should have prepped this ahead of time. Not cutting through, just taking a little bit off here. Okay, and I leave a little piece like that sticking out. You can see it there. That allows me to tie it in. So now, I'm leaving that chenille on the card. What that does, so I don't waste any of it. Because if you cut off a piece of chenille, you're going to wind up wasting some of it later on. And I get this tied in right about there. I'm going to bring this all the way up, just about to here. I want to leave just a little bit of room here on the hook eye so that I have enough to make my head on it when I'm finished. And I can also take this, and what I can do is put a small half hitch in here. Bear with me, guys. I'm working around the camera setup today. This is new for me, so. Okay, now I'm about good there. Then I can take this here, put my bobbin over here so it's out of the way. And now the luxury of having a rotating vise is that I can just rotate this on here. Bluegills seem to like the flashier colored patterns. Pink has always been my favorite. It's also a very good pattern for, like I said, trout will eat this very well as something that works good for me. Now I'm going to just take my thread, put a couple wraps around here. Get that secured off. And then come around to the front here. Nice tight wraps. You can cut it off here. This is a deadly pattern for bluegills. Now I'm going to just make a nice head here. Make sure I wrap back just a little bit. And I do want to make kind of a prominent head on this. It's always seemed to help with the attraction part of it. But I do wrap slightly back, and if you notice in there. And make this head nice. A little larger than I normally would make flies on other, heads on other flies, I should say. It looks about right there. And I'll rotate it sometimes just to check it, but that looks pretty much perfect. And I do use this pattern quite often, so I'm actually out of them, so I'm actually planning on tying up a half a dozen here. So now I'm going to come in here with my whip finish tool and whip finish this off. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do catch a lot of fish on this, so I'm going to actually do a double whip finish. Is it necessary? Probably not, but it's something I just like to do. I'm come in here now, and I'm going to cut off my thread. And then I like to use, this is the product I use, this UV resin. I'll just come in here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this resin here on the head. Get this coated pretty well. And come on. There we go. This red or orange or pink head, whatever color you choose, it works pretty well. I'm just going to come in here on my UV light. I'm going to hit this. You notice I got a couple of straggler pieces from that thread I'm going to take care of here in just a second. And the easiest way I found to do that is a fancy old lighter. You notice that cleans that head right up. So there you go, folks. This is probably my #1 best pattern for bluegills. It's done very well for me in the past, and also I do catch a lot of trout on. That's what I call the pinky. Thanks again for watching Wally Outdoors here. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.